Don't you just love a good horror movie where everybody is fucked? Everybody. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss Army of the Dead, available right now on Netflix. Now this movie stars Dave Bautista, Omari Hardwick, and several other familiar faces. Now getting into this zombie movie, y'all, I just love the zombie genre. There are so many ways that you can go with that, so many different things that you can do, but we know somebody has to get ate up. Before I get into what I absolutely loved about this movie, some of the characters I loved, and some of the characters that I was just like, I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're going to come back and discuss all things. You know, in horror movies, you know a horror movie is real when they go for the jugular and just kill a kid right in the beginning. Like, man, just kill the kid. I was like, oh, they real. Okay, I'm watching. Hopefully subscribe to see more of me. Let's get into this movie. I had really high hopes for this movie solely based off the director. Now this movie is directed by Zack Snyder. You know, 300, Man of Steel, The Watchmen, you know, all the good stuff. I was really interested to see what he would do with the zombie movie and how that would look, because you know those 300, Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, all those films look so immaculate, and he did not disappoint here. And then we also have Dave Bautista, who has grown, I think outside of The Rock, he is the only other wrestler to have a really great career outside of wrestling as far as acting, and it really translates. Now you have many wrestlers try their hand at acting, you know, post wrestler, but he's really good. You know, we got to really know him in what I did in Guardians of the Galaxy, and you know the most recent thing I watched, not too recent, but Bushwick, that was also available on Netflix not too long ago. Now I really think he does an awesome job of, you know, making sure he's not just a piece of meat on screen. His acting has gotten so great over the years. He's conveying more emotions, and the action is always going to be there because the stunt work is immaculate. So with all those things together, that made for a great film. I love that this movie doesn't waste any time getting into the zombies. It's literally on for 2 seconds. It's like, oh, already? We start off by seeing, you know, this just married couple collide with this army man. You know, those good army stories. Oh, what are we carrying? I don't know. Do you? Boom. Big ass, buff ass, Hulk-like zombie pops out and terrorizes the whole thing. I was like, okay, he looks smart. He's like ducking and dodging, very strategic. Like, I was like, oh, these are like some World War Z zombies. Like, they're not just going aimlessly. And I love when we get zombies like that. Those zombies who aren't, you know, just aimlessly clawing at things, that are, you know, a little smart and really fast. Because, you know, you can get away with a lot with a slow zombie. A fast one, that's totally different. And we were getting fast ones here, standing over Las Vegas, ready to fuck shit up. And then we get into Zack Snyder doing his thing with this great opening shot. And I was like, oh, this is very Zombieland. It was really giving me Zombieland, but it was like to the max because it was Vegas. You have those great slow motion shots right in the beginning of, you know, people changing and turning in Las Vegas and shit. I love the opening that they used that to not only, you know, show us slow motion bloody ass violence, but we also got to see backstory with our group of mercenaries before we ever got to know them and know their names. Like, we already knew what they were about. We see, you know, their life kind of before. We get to see them, stand with the backdrop and hold a picture. It was very different. It told a story without any words, but with all that going on, you also get to see, everything that's happening, and them, trying to get out and get their families, get their children. And you see this one lady, trying and searching and trying to get her daughter, and they're almost out. Everybody's come together. Like, there, you see that they're starting to, at this point, they have dropped bombs. They have sent in, army man after army man, and everybody's just dying and turning at this point. Like, you know what? We can't right now. The most things we can do right now is just to seal this whole Las Vegas situation off and get everybody alive out. And they're like, oh, they got the baby. Oh, she found her daughter. She finds the daughter and everybody's getting out. And then wham, they get hold of his hat and then smashed. But I was like, y'all don't know. When you're in a horror movie, like, you get so many little horror movies. It's like, we can do everything else, but we don't touch the kids. Like, no, we're not doing that. No. They touch the kid and the mom all at the same time. I was like, oh, I'm ready. Bring it on. Now, getting to this actual team of mercenaries who all, escaped with their lives and also saved many people, you see that they pretty much came back to absolutely nothing. Not only did they lose, their businesses, their loved ones, they, have really shitty jobs and shitty lives and have no prospects. And you see, rifts between certain people. And it's just like, this is the best we got. Nah, I'm about to take this deal for this 200 million and 50 to split between us and get my team together. Now, I love in him getting the team together. He gets with his buddy. And as you see him get person after person, their portion of this split $50 million gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It's like, damn. Right away, you see the distrust within the group, because it's just like, dang, you don't even, share. It's just like, oh, you want to make $200,000? You want to make $2 million? You want to make $20,000? Like, well, damn, who's making what? But you immediately see the discontent and the distrust within the group right away, just based off of that. So it set the standard for what we maybe thought we were going to get once they actually entered Las Vegas. Now, after we get into, them having a 32-hour window before they just bomb Vegas for good, just neutralize it, because it's like, we're done. And we get, the little Japanese man, and hey, just very, like, I was like, yeah, I'm getting untrustworthy off of him already. Like, wasted no time. But I like that this movie knew what it was. Before we get into that team of mercenaries and who I really like there, let's just get into the daughter character being in the camp and this whole COVID temperature situation they had going. I was like, this seemed real COVID. And you have, even the newscaster going, someone could project and do these things to you and drag you out of your house just based on the temperature. And then, they're putting a thermometer to your head like it's a gun. And it's just like, this seemed real familiar. But once we get into, the daughter and her riff and her being in the camp to, kind of help children and this whole mom character, I didn't like her immediately. Immediately when she, got with the guard, that same guy, and he is like typecast at this point to just be the asshole. He's the asshole, mean, just antagonizing. He is just that dude. So I knew exactly what he came for when we saw him. I was like, oh, came to fuck shit up. But once we get into her riff and her just feeling, this connection with the mom there, and her like putting that above everything else, and I'm here for these kids. She was written to be a selfish character right away, but they tried to disguise it as, oh, it's not about me, it's about these children, and I'm going to save this mom. And I was, oh, she had to get out of my face immediately. And we're going to get into when she really needs to get out of my face towards the end of the film. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. Now, once we get into him getting, his team together and we are introduced to these characters, this young man right here had to be just about my favorite, just adding, the comedic timing. Now, he was screaming a little too much for me throughout the damn film. It's only so many times I was, like, boy, we in here now, calm down. But just him really not having a whole bunch of dialogue, but him still, being very prominent and having his little one-liners. I thought that was great. I also like, the badass, smoking her whole cigar by a whole flammable tank. And I love that with them getting to everybody. It's just like, hey, you want how much? Oh yeah, I don't even need to know what we doing. Just sign me up. Let me know where I need to be. And I'm like, well, damn, nobody's going to oppose. Nobody's going to ask any questions. It's just like, like, forget my life. I'm down for whatever. But once we get into those characters and everybody getting together, and you see that Omari Hardwick's, character is kind of having a riff with the other one. It's like, he doesn't look like he's able to handle himself. He doesn't even look like he knows. I love that. Like, hey, I got a question. Oh yeah, how do you kill the zombies? Like, it was funny. But right then I was like, all right, they better not have Omari Hardwick have this black savior complex and die for this little white boy. Like, I was like, if they do that, I'm like, I don't even want to see that no more. Like, you gotta have that no, take me instead. Like, no, we ain't doing that. Don't do that here. We're gonna get to that. But right then, when he was assigned as, to protect the kid at all costs, we need him to get into the safe, I was like, don't do that. Now it's at this point that the writing goes a little bit astray, but it doesn't take away from the film. I just think that the script could have been written for, I just like a good reveal. I like a good mystery. We knew exactly who all these people were as soon as we met them. As soon as we met the daughter in the camp, we knew who she was. As soon as we met the blonde chick in the camp, we already knew the type of character she was. Like, it's like take no prisoners. Don't touch me. And then as soon as we met, the security intel, I'm a part of his team. I'm going to be traveling with you guys. I was like, okay, he's the op. He's coming with a hidden agenda. I love that everybody coming in to this really, really dangerous environment has ulterior motives. And I'm like, what is the outcome? I love even that moment of, the Japanese guys saying, this is the scenario. This is how this is going to go. It's going to go so smooth. And then you guys fly off into the sunset. It was like, yeah, nah, we ain't doing that. But once we get everybody together and we make it back to the camp and everybody's there and you see Kate immediately step in with the fuckery. I was like, oh, she gonna be this character. That whole, I'm coming with you. I have to go save the mom. And the story pretty much wrote itself. So we already knew what was going to happen with these characters because we've seen these characters so many times before. But just with the atmosphere and the cinematography and the direction, it didn't bother you because everything was just looking so good. And you knew it was going to be a fun ride, whether we knew what was going to happen or not. And whether Kate was getting on people's nerves or not, attaching herself. I was like, as soon as I'm coming with you. I'm like, oh, girl, get out of here. We don't want you to come. Now, I did like the little loop of, them taking the asshole as bait. That was really, really awesome. And once we actually get into Las Vegas and we see that we're like breaking all zombie rules here, not only are they smart, but they, this whole king and queen dynamic and this was different. I always love when we get different. And it was this whole like world. I was like, oh, they're like smart. It was kind of Land of the Dead smart where they were, all traveling to get to one place. But it's like, yeah, we have to, bring this offering and all this. I love that them just offering the guy. Nobody was like, but we shouldn't do that. It was like, yeah, shoot his ass. Gonna take him. So after we get, all these untrustworthy ass characters together, all these selfish people together, all these people with ulterior motives together, and this daughter who's mad because he killed the mom that was a zombie that was trying to eat you. You mad about that? Yeah. After we get into all that and, a little foreshadowing with, I could have, given or taken the zombie tiger. It just seemed like something to throw in there. Like, ooh, what if we had a Siegfried Roy zombie tiger? And there was so much foreshadowing with the tag-along bad guy. Like, and he's like, oh, I just don't like the look of that tiger. Oh, we just got to do something. But I was like, okay, we already know, sir, the tiger's going to eat you. You don't got to say nothing else. But at the point of us really, traveling and getting into the whole zombie-esque world, I love that the zombies, had a leader and they had someone to answer to. And he was commanding so much dominance on screen for him, not to do anything but very, very great. And then when he drops low and, listens, I was like, what he doing to her stomach? This I know this zombie ain't pregnant. Like, we ain't finna go here. This ain't what this is. This zombie ain't pregnant. Nah. But with, the zombies taking the asshole, you knew that would be, a plot device for later because he was just so eager to get his hands on the Kate character and the daughter. It was just like, y'all sure y'all want to throw him? Because they made it very clear, with all these, zombie rules that they have, if they bite you, that particular group, you're a superior alpha zombie, you're smarter, you Merlin. I'm like, y'all wanted to send him? That one? So he can come back? All right. But that's when we get into, another different, set. Like, it's zombies. We can throw anything in there. They're hibernating. And then, trying to creep their way through. And this is when we get into, the baby girl character. I really, really love when we got into her character and her, being that badass to say, no, I don't trust you. I'm going to stay behind. And he switches it up and moves those glow sticks and she gets lost. Just to see her handle herself for that long was really good. It was really entertaining because you're just waiting like, oh, girl, all hope is lost. She ain't gonna make it. She made it far as hell. And it was very entertaining to watch. I really love the time that we got with her character. And it let us know immediately, like, oh, you showing just how untrustworthy you are right away. And I was like, okay, what are we going to have left to, flip-flop towards the end if we already know, from jump that this is a character that we can't trust and he has other motives. But I do like the alternative and kind of what they used, I guess. Instead of him, because, the whole thing before was just like, oh, he's sent, to watch them for them to actually get the money, shoot them all in the head or some shit and, just take it all for himself. So, he's here for something. But the option, the ulterior thing of what he was actually placed in the zombie place for, was it a good enough exchange for, the big reveal to already happen 20, 30 minutes into the film? I don't know. But it's at that point that we get, a little bit more questionable writing with, even the Dave Bautista character, because he's, the alpha, the leader in the group. You put all of this together. But once his daughter was attached, he pretty much left everybody by the wayside and opted just to look after his daughter and wasn't, being much of a leader. It was just like every man for himself at that point. Because once we got into old girl just, being left with the wolves back there, and, we have her friend going, you did something. What did you do? We can't trust you. Yeah, everybody split up. You go with this one and you go and you. Why are we still trusting this man to be there? Like, it was just like, okay. But we get into, the little side characters, them building stories together. You have, homegirl with the jokes on the roof with the helicopter. You have Omari Hardwick and Lil Baby, they're trying to get and persevere and get to that safe and get that money. And then you have that goddamn Dave Bautista and his daughter, Kate, who gives her reason for why she just has this just strong hatred for him. It's just like, well, you wasn't there and you just weren't there. And I was like, and he's like, I'm sorry. I was being selfish. I thought it was because, I killed your mom and I was only thinking about myself and what I saw when I looked at you. But I'm here now and we can fix things now and it's okay. I love you. Let's open this food truck. And then it's like, yeah, I spent so much time hating you. I just can't throw that away. Girl, at that point, I already knew what her character was there for and what she was going to do towards the end. So it made it really predictable for me, which I hate. But I already knew that because, she needed, some redemption for that answer. I just spent so much time hating you and I can't just drop that. I was like, oh, it's one of them movies. So we got to make her eat those words. Yeah. He gonna die. So after I love the moments when we have, in horror movies or just movies in general where it's just like it was just like a couple of zombies. And it was like, oh, yeah, she's gone. Just leave her. Just go. Just leave. I'm like, damn, it's just two, three zombies right there. Y'all could help her. You could shoot somebody. She can make it. No, go, run, go on without me. Like, no, bitch, save me. But after that, we get into, the ulterior motive of, the dude. Like, no, we didn't come here. This is not about the money. This is not about the heist. I came here to get a head off of one of these zombies. And I was like, then you have, the blind chick who's, has her own, little righteous, selfish thing. It's just like, I don't leave people behind, blah, blah, blah. And I knew that we were going to, try to give her some redeemable situations towards the end. But she's, sworn to secrecy. And if, you do this, then I'll help everybody back at the camp. Like, why are we continuing to trust this man throughout the movie? But out of all the heads that he could have taken, he decides to take the queen's head. Why? Like, why? And, he took her head and that just, all the shit hit the fan. But I like that even, with all that going on, we're sure to, inject some comedy with, the booby traps trying to get to the safe and, him heating up the day, like it's not, if it's alive, it's warm. He's going to get to it. And, him playing fetch with the zombies, setting off the booby traps and those whole things. And you see them build, a bond that we know is going to be broken later. Like, y'all trying to be friends in a zombie movie? Nope. And you see, with him being, aloof and not really being hands-on, able to shoot anybody. But once it gets to him cracking open the safe, it's like, shh, I need all y'all to shut up. Like, those scenes were good. But we also get more into the time crunch and, like, oh, no, we're not doing it tomorrow. We're going to blow this shit up right now. You guys have like an hour or two to get out of here. And it's just like, oh. But what I didn't understand was, homegirl on the roof, just like, oh, yeah. Everything's up and running. I got the chopper going. Yep. I'm just up here waiting on y'all. Like, girl, you ain't nothing going. This shit is busted. Why are you lying? What if they just run up here? You're not ready. Like, what? So for me, that was a little bit of, who wrote this? But the action and that stunt work, those scenes, the shooting, the zombies, the pacing was all so great that I could let a few of those things slide. Some questionable stuff. It's all right. After we get into them actually opening the safe, opening the safe and standing there to revel in it like they went on a time crunch. It was so many moments here of them just reveling and stuff. And it's just real like, yeah. Like, what the hell if y'all don't get the hell out of there? But you get into Kate and Kate getting into what she really came there for. Like, no, I'm Kate and I have to save the mother of these children, and her ass running off to go alone solo to save. And I'm just like, oh Lord, you couldn't pick a better time. Because at this point, the king, the smart one, has found out, they've taken her head. And then we get him, takes out this glowing magical embryo and holds it up. I was like, so she was actually pregnant. What kind of zombies are these? Y'all was about to produce a zombie baby. We was finna get Dawn of the Dead up in here. We was about to do that? Oh, okay. But this really pisses him off. And this is when, things are solely just unleashed. And the little line that they had drawn in the sand is like broken. Like, nah, son, you killed my baby mama. I'm coming. And then we get into like, I just wanted to punch Kate in the face. Like, oh my goodness. The selfishness of it all. But by the time we get into, the zombies and their counterattack and, the old dude with his ulterior motive was like, yeah, I got the bag and, yeah, I got you twice. Ha, 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 ha. Moo, ha, ha, ha. Have fun dying. I'm like, what did you expect from this character? So that wasn't shocking. But once we got into Omari Hardwick's character and, Big Daddy Zombie coming in with his helmet, so smart to have a helmet on. I'm like, damn, can't somebody be standing in the back to catch him without that helmet on so y'all can somebody shoot him in the head? We just need one person to shoot him in the head. But it's just bing, 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 bing. I was like, all right. But once he goes in to, attack little baby and Omari Hardwick's like, no, step to the side. I got this. I was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. We are not having a whole savior complex right now. We get enough of that. Run, go save yourself. Like, it was a whole thing. But no. Once little baby pushed his ass into that safe and opted to save him instead, I was like, this is different. I was not expecting that. But I also was paying attention to, him flipping and flopping Omari Hardwick's ass. And that zombie got this close to biting his arm. And I was sitting here, I was like, did he bite him? Did he bite him? But at this point, there's no money. Never was a real heist. And, all that foreshadowing work, because we knew immediately when he figured out that, the bags were switched and it wasn't the head anymore. And, we got this plot. Thinking about it now, the plot was a little tired of him, hey, this was never about the money. This is worth, so much money. We're trying to build, a zombie army. It's like, okay. But him, it didn't do anything for him to get his, upcomings of him getting attacked by the tiger. It was just like, we knew you were going to get attacked by the tiger, sir. You mentioned this tiger like 3 times. But once we get into, everybody just being at the mercy of Kate and saving Kate, getting to Kate though, them going through the lobby in the casino and all those zombies coming at them and all of that stunt work, That shit was great. Dave Bautista, great. That was awesome. And then we get the poor, you know, the only redeemable character who gets knocked on the ground, just like, oh, go on without me. Boom. I was like, oh. I was like, well, that doesn't leave a lot of people alive now. Everybody gonna die? Yes. We get into, you know, him getting to the plane. It's like, you know, hey, and the girl's like, yeah, I got the head. Go on without. I'm like, how many times we gonna do the go on without me trope? Like, they was really pushing it with the go on without me. Like, if y'all just want to kill everybody, just say that. But we have that with her and her dropping the zombie head on the ground. And, you know, this pisses him off anymore. Like, this zombie was like the never-ending zombie. Like, everybody could get shot on point except his ass. But we get into, you know, Kate going to save the moms, you know, who've been sitting there the whole time just, you know, I guess knitting a sweater or something. Like, y'all ain't got up this whole time and try to run at all? Did y'all notice everybody left to go kill people? Y'all been sitting in the Olympus this whole time waiting on Kate? But she gets there and, you know, at this point, it's just her. Oh my God, how did I switch this? The main shocking thing here was when, you know, we have, you know, that love interest, you know, professing her love. She's like, I didn't come here for the money. I came here for you. And I'm not letting you go down there to get her alone. I'm coming with you. It's like, oh, thanks, babe. Ding. I was like, oh. Now that was shocking. I did not expect it. And I love unexpected things. I did not expect for her to just get got like that. It was like, wow, y'all taking no prisoners. And I knew y'all wasn't. As soon as y'all killed that daughter and mom combo in the beginning, I knew y'all was that type of movie. The only thing that saved y'all for me, because the plot was a little weak. But now once we get into, you know, him going to save Kate, and it's, you know, down to the last minute after, of course, little zombie asshole has came back to, you know, nibble on her a little bit. And she shoots him, and you have him coming, and she gets saved just in time. And we get to the, you know, I was so excited when the helicopter, like, he was like, you know, don't cross me, like, don't leave me here. We'll be out in a second. When they went out there and she wasn't there, I was like, hell yeah, you don't owe these people nothing. Y'all ain't got me no money either. I'm risking my life for nothing. I ain't waiting on y'all. No, she was still there. At which we get that zombie like, oh, like, nah, y'all ain't getting away, son. Runs and jumps into the helicopter. And that's when all hell breaks loose. Not only do we have, you know, the nuclear bomb, you know, coming in, and we have the helicopter going. And I'm like, for Kate? We're going to do this for Kate. And just so I knew that we were going to have to try to redeem, you know, make her eat those words. You know, I can't just stop hating you. It's been going on for too long. And we kill off the dad. He gets bit. And I was like, you know, right after he gets bit, you know, the helicopter is crashed at this point. The pilot has got, like, you know, semi-shot. It's just like, for Kate? But we had to make her eat her words, and her dad is now, you know, they're going through this whole, you're the best, bravest man I ever met. I love you so much. And oh my God. I was just like, he's like, I got this money. Go save the children. I was like, nah, she don't, nah. Why are we sitting here with her? Like, for her, no, it could have been anybody else, not Kate. I didn't like Kate. I didn't care for Kate. Kate could have gotten eaten, like, right as soon as we got there. I am never for the, you know, lose a woman, lose a child narrative to give a man some motivation. But for her in particular, if she would have just got eaten as soon as they got in there and she was turned, and that just gave him all the motivation in the world to, like, fuck shit up, I would have been down for that, because Kate was getting on my damn nerves this whole movie. And I didn't like her being like, you are the one who got out. But after we end with that and everything's been nuked, I was sitting and watching with my daughter. I was like, but Omari Hardwick was in that safe, baby. You think he's still alive? You think he gonna pop up? Boom, cuts and comes back on. I was like, oh, it's still on. We still got some more movie. We still got some more. And he hops out with all the money and everything. And that's when we get into, I was like, this is such a good use for the cranberry zombie. In your head, they are fighting. In your head. I was like, this is so nice. But after that, and we see him, you know, like, it was like, ooh, I want to know how many people were like, ooh, who really thought he was going to make it. Because in the back of my mind, I was like, he got bit. But it's like, ooh, Nobody survived. The brother survived. Oh, okay. And he got the money. And he hopping on the flight. And then get that, whoo, well, you're really cold, sir. Are you sweating? Do you need something? Maybe. Oh, no, I'm good. It's like, bam, bite. I knew it. I knew y'all weren't going to let us have nothing. And that's when, we get into the flight and them, heading to Mexico City, which I'm sure is, like a prequel into another part. Like, and him getting to be, the new alpha zombie, which would be really cool. But you guys, that was my review. I had a really good time with this film. No, things were not perfect. A lot of the writing was really questionable and was really weak at times, and really it took away a little bit, because this had the potential to be not only just a great zombie movie, but it could have been a good storytelling movie. We could have had so much to linger on if things weren't revealed so soon. But I did have a good time with the movie. The movie was shot. It looked really great. The zombies of choice, they were really, great to look at. Great to, rah, 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 rah. Awesome. But drop down and tell me what you thought about this movie, what you thought about my review, and let's get the conversation going. Please like this video. I see you guys next time. Bye.